righteousness. Yes. For his name's sake.
Those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Amen. They shall rise up as on wings of eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen.
This is the inheritance of the Lord's saints. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Be still and know that I am God. I am the Lord that healeth thee.
And I will be exalted in the nations.
Hallelujah.
I will be exalted in the nations.
Hallelujah.
We exalt
Thank you very much, Charmaine. Let's give her a hand. Whatever is on your heart to tell us, but I know it'll be very impressive. It's sort of business report, yeah.
It's not really the venue for dry business reports, is it?
Almost financial statement.
Can you hear me? Well, you probably all know now that I come from Albany in Western Australia. And so I'm first off the cab off the rank. I don't know if it's because it's age for Albany or whatever, but quite a challenge to have to set the tone of these reports. Anyway, here goes. I thought I'd just tell you, first of all, how it just happened in Albany. Tony McClellan spoke on Vision Radio on a date, I think, well, it was July or August last year. Could possibly have been even anniversary today. I seem to be in for anniversaries at the moment. And I heard him, and I had this great feeling that I had failed in the Great Commission. I had done nothing all my 78 years about really going out there and winning people for Jesus. I've been happy to coast along in my own little world, in my own little church, my own little family in the church, etc. And I don't know why, but the emphasis on saving other people never seemed to really come to the surface very much. Anyway, it came to the surface quite strongly about just before I heard Tony on the radio. I discovered Vision Radio, which really is not the sort of radio I would have listened to a few years ago at all. But I found in it the answer to the emptiness that I was experiencing in my own spiritual life in Albany. And I became an avid listener, and my pin-up boys are Neil Johnson and Jeff yes.
I was going to say Nigel Hickman there.
Well, he's not a boy now, he's a big man. Anyway, that's how I sort of came to be listening to Vision Radio, and I heard Tony talking about Australia for Jesus, and it hit me strongly. This was something that sounded as though it was right for me, and I rang him up after having a look at the website, but in my usual technical inability, I tend to sort of go for the help me phone number. So I rang him up, and I can't remember what we said, but I do know that he said, well, I'm coming to WA in September. It was only going to be about 6 weeks later. And I said, oh, that's fantastic. Where are you going? And he said he was going to Perth. And I said, any chance of you coming down to Albany? And he said, we can arrange that. So I said, wow. He said, you think you could arrange for something? And I said, yes. I had no doubts about it at all. Anyway, it all sort of happened. I can't really remember now how it happened. But I was able to arrange a meeting at our church, St. John's Anglican Parish, on a Monday evening, and then also at the other Anglican church in Albany. And so Tony came and he set the scene, and he brought with him Roger. Roger was the chauffeur, and Roger was helping Tony with everything too. And it was a very blessed time. We had about 28 people turned up to the meeting. Wow. They were from all denominations. The little room was packed out.
Baltimore people.
And not quite.
I was expecting 2 shivering souls to be waiting for someone with the key. That's what I was expecting. Oh, ye of little faith.
And not only that, it poured on the way in. Absolutely poured. And we came around.
And you didn't have a jacket. I had a jacket. And I was saying to the Lord, she's going to need my jacket, and I won't have one. Could you please stop the rain by the time we get down to the car park?
Yes.
So what happened?
What happened? The rain stopped.
Immediately we landed in the car.
Because we had in the car, you know, the banners and all those things that was going, and we were running a couple of minutes late, and we opened the door to the hall, the pouring rain, and there all these people, it sort of came into the light, and all these people there. Wow! I just sort of went in and said, how fantastic you're all here! And we had a wonderful meeting that night, and we actually had no, that was a different time. Yeah, I get my luck now. Anyway, Tony came in September, and as a result of that, we set up an Australia for Jesus database in Albany, and we decided we would have to work for a training session, because there wasn't time when Tony and Roger came to do a training session at St. John's, but we had a brief one at Living Waters the next morning. But it was a 9 o'clock in the morning meeting, so there were a lot of people at work. We still had a good crowd there, didn't we? It was really good, yeah. So Tony and Roger disappeared into the wide blue yonder and left me to it. And yeah, things just fell into place. Some people say, oh, you're a very efficient leader, but I can't remember doing anything very much, but a couple of emails. And we met once a month until Roger was able to come down on the 14th of December. And he came down the 14th of December, and we had a wonderful 2 days really. Friday night where we had a shared meal and training, and Lorraine and Lindley and Susan Lego and a couple of other people from Aglow came down as well from Perth and Frio, and we had people from other churches as well, so that was great. And we had a very good time. We went out on a Saturday morning and we had our first training on the streets, and there was a big, was that when there was a big market outside St John's? Yes, they had a big, on the lawns around the church they had this market, and then they had another farmer's market around the corner, and we went around then. Did we have our t-shirts then? We did.
Yeah, they drizzled a bit, didn't they?
So that was our sort of inaugural thing that set us going. And then Christmas came, and so we didn't do much in January, but in February we started again, and we've been having campaigns every month since then, with unfortunately not a growing group of people, probably a decreasing group of people, but the people that have stayed have been very faithful, and I would say that there's a core of about 6 or 7 of us who turn up regularly. Yes, so that was really good. We held a campaign in May. First of all, no, we had Roger and Gracie came down in March, because Roger had a contact with the pastor of a church in Denmark, which is about 50 kilometres from Albany, to the west of Albany. And Roger knew Danny, and so we fixed up to go to Danny's church, and I gave a bit of an explanatory talk to Danny's church about what Australia for Jesus was. And since then, Danny's been a great supporter, and he's got a passion for evangelism. He went to the States about April, I think. April, May, he went to the States, and he heard somebody talking, and it really fired him up, and he said, this is what we've got to do. So he's committed now to go out every weekend somewhere. So he's joined the team. He's not a very faithful 12 presenter, because he's been doing it for a long time. He does it his own way. So, but I tick him off occasionally, say that's wicked, and he's very visible. Yes. So that was came down in March, and then in May we had a campaign as well, and then in June Lorraine and Dave came down from Perth, and we went to Denmark. We did a training day in Denmark at Danny's church, and Lorraine gave a magnificent presentation of 12 as training, and we had a lovely group of people there, didn't we, Lorraine? How many would have been there? 15 or 16, yeah. Very attentive people.
Charmaine, your time is up, so it's probably time for Lorraine. Okay,
all right, well, you can take everything. But I also say that we've also brought in another church in Mount Barker as well. So we're spreading out from our way.
Let's give Lorraine a welcome, and